New this afternoon, a study linking maternal diabetes to developmental risks in children, including a heightened risk for ADHD. They're still looking into whether there's any causation between the two.
Our medical expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, joining us now with a closer look at this new study. So let's start with gestational diabetes. What is it? Who gets it? I remember drinking that drink. Do you remember that when you were pregnant?
Yeah,
to test it, right?
So we screen all women between 24 and 28 weeks of gestation because women will develop this condition of diabetes during pregnancy. And you can imagine the women that might be higher risk, the ones that are obese, they have a family history of diabetes, they've had gestational diabetes, but even certain races, Black women, for example, Hispanic women as well, can be higher risk, and this can be problematic for both mom and baby.
Well, kind of break it down for me, because I remember I had a concern about this because, I gained 60 pounds with my first baby, 66 with the second, and I'm like, oh, am I gaining too much weight? Is that the only thing that you're looking for? Like, what are the factors here?
Yep, so mom can certainly gain weight. It puts a target sign on mom to have heart disease later if she develops gestational diabetes. But baby can have complications because that sugar can make the baby gain too much weight as well. And it's essentially a state where you have too much blood sugar swimming around causing inflammation. This can even cause preterm labor, and as we're going to talk about today, neurodevelopmental problems in the baby, maybe even diabetes in baby later in life because all their organs are developing, they're getting exposed to too much sugar.
Are these rates increasing? Are you seeing that?
They are, unfortunately.
Really?
Yes. So up to 10% of pregnancies can have gestational diabetes, which is why we screen everybody. It's a lot, and it's going up. And there are a few reasons for that. One is we're older than we ever were before when we have babies. And after the age of 35, especially, the rate of gestational diabetes goes up because your body's not designed to carry a pregnancy that late. And of course, we're more obese than we ever were before as well. So going into pregnancy, we have extra weight. And the way that we eat, when we eat more ultra-processed foods, it increases a risk for gestational diabetes as well.
And what about the link to autism between gestational diabetes and autism? Did you find any of that in the study?
So this is what this study found. It looked at several million pregnancies and found basically that there's a 28% higher risk of neurodevelopmental disorders, and this includes autism. It includes ADHD. It even includes intellectual disability or developmental delay intellectually. Now, if you think about this, we've been talking a lot about what's causing autism rates going up, ADHD going up, but this may be the missing link. But as you said before, Alex, we don't know yet if it's causal or just a marker. In other words, are the women who are getting gestational diabetes actually doing other bad things, like eating bad food, not exercising, being a couch potato, and that's why the kids are getting this from the toxins from the other things? Or is it the actual sugar in the diabetes itself that's poisoning the placenta, going to baby and actually creating these problems? If you look on an MRI on the baby's brain, you'll actually see functional and anatomical changes in moms that have had gestational diabetes. So their brains actually look different on scans as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So what do we need to be doing? Like, how do we prevent this?
So I have two take-home lessons from this. The first, we need to be screening women more aggressively, knowing that we have more gestational diabetes earlier in their pregnancies, and women themselves need to be empowered. You know, I put a continuous glucose monitor on my mom, which is this little sticker that tells you your sugar in the phone. And so if you're someone who has risk factors or worried, and you're pregnant, of course, think about getting something like this to monitor your own sugar. And we as doctors, I think, need to do better as well, because sometimes we wait too late to do it. And secondly, work on those risk factors. So really cut down, you know, the processed food, the junk food, especially during pregnancy. I know the cravings can be bad.
Oh man, that's all I wanted. That's all. Oh, and a big Coke.
I know, and I remember
A Coke too, huh?
It's
Yes,
so
ma'am.
funny what you crave, but I remember learning, I don't remember if it was when you were on, but that the additional calories you need when you're pregnant is like 15. Like it's like really, really small per day. And then we have this narrative, at least I did, that like, oh, you're eating for two, and I can crave this, and I can indulge in this. And we need to change that narrative, because me, when I first was pregnant, 37 years old, I didn't realize I only needed an additional little bit more of calories than I knew when I typically do.
Completely change it, because that's creating inflammation. I mean, not just for you, not just for your baby, but potentially for their long-term growth and development. So you're absolutely right, just being more aware of how we should be during pregnancy and really being thoughtful about what we eat, what we do, how we move before and during and after pregnancy.
Less Diet Coke, I was really into like sweet teas, and I told you recently I don't even like sweet tea. It's a lot
Well,
of
if you
sugar.
crave sweet, if you crave sweet, it's a girl, right? That's what I read.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Kohli, important information as always.
Thank you,
so
Dr.
much.
Kohli.